at the end, it's, again, not a technical problem. It's a leadership opportunity that we're facing. So leadership is so fundamental. And being, let's say, really courageous and maybe also, let me call it risk blind, helps.
Welcome to your brand new episode of our podcast, Human in AI, Minds, Machine, and a Great in Ascent.
Thanks for tuning in to our geeky podcast to discuss the fascinating field of AI and machine learning, corporate craziness, passion for technology, and the role of humans. We are Uli and Abri, your hosts for this episode, and today we'll talk about a topic relevant to each and everyone, since we're talking about healthcare.
Yeah, and healthcare, particular innovation in that space, is such an important topic, given that the global population is aging. Do you know that the number of people aged 60 and above is expected to be doubled by 2050, reaching over 2 billion?
Yeah, that's crazy. And as our population gets older, there's a greater need for healthcare services and long-term care. But what's fascinating is that data analytics and AI are also opening up new opportunities. And we're seeing AI breakthroughs revolutionizing patient care, from enabling personalized medicine to enhancing diagnostic accuracy.
Right, like AlphaFolds, right? Everybody's speaking in the public world out there, right? Ability to predict protein structures, which is transforming drug discovery and our understanding of disease. And don't forget, advanced algorithms improving diagnostics, medical imaging, increasing both speed, accuracy, but also accessibility, all while ensuring that our focus remains on human-centric.
And guess what, Uli? We invited just the perfect genius mind today to join us on the show to answer all of our questions. So he came all the way from the stunning landscapes of beautiful Switzerland. So please give a warm welcome to Daniele, the global head of digital analytics and operational excellence at Roche. Daniele is not only a visionary leader, but also a rock star when it comes to innovation, digital transformation, and AI. His passion for people in healthcare truly sets him apart. We're thrilled to have him with us today. So let's kick it right off. Daniele, so great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. Very kind words. I'm very surprised to be introduced so nicely. I will stay the whole day with you, I think.
All right. Awesome. Buongiorno, Daniele.
Buongiorno.
I must admit, we are here in Munich at very early morning, almost at lunchtime in the AI lab. So welcome to the show. We are super excited and honored to have you. So let's kick it off with something, more easy, hands-on, and, describe yourself in 3 hashtags. What would these hashtags would be? And the second one is, as someone, which originates, at least partially from Italy, right? Yes. What would you say is the number one gift from your homeland that fuels your drive for innovation?
Yeah, let me start maybe with a bit the Italian. So I'm half Italian, half German. It's a very difficult combination. And I think, when we are talking about digital transformation, one important element is change. And I think me as Italian, I have plenty of stereotypes and fun stories to tell. I can tell stories about food, about cars, about everything. And creating fun, also creating change requires energy. And I think that's the part that I have being Italian, I would guess.
Awesome.
When I'm talking about a bit hashtag, let me reflect. I would maybe say one a bit more private and one more professional. On the professional side, I would say maybe hashtag AI change maker or change pioneer. I can reflect a bit. When I started to work on the digital AI field, it's more than 11 years ago, 12 years ago, something like this.
When it was not sexy. Huh?
It was not sexy. It was even not popular. Right. When people were talking about digital, they were talking about tablets, right? The first iPad came and everyone was just having tablets everywhere.
Right? That was pretty groundbreaking.
It was groundbreaking. At that time in my private life, I was building, actually with Raspberry Pis, plug-and-play sensors, just for fun. And I was starting to actually plug those sensors on packaging machines when I was working at McKinsey. And suddenly people were saying, hey, this looks cool. We have now tablets. You are building these plug-and-play sensors. You are the new head of digital. There you go. At McKinsey. So I was starting to building a practice there based on actually my private hobby.
Cool.
On a private life, I would say maybe a bit digital human twin. one of the fun facts, and no one knows, I have an identical twin.
Physical twin.
Physical twin.
Oh.
Identical physical twin.
Are we talking to Daniele now?
You're talking to Daniele, but let's see, maybe I'm shifting. And yesterday I had a session around hacking, and they hacked my voice.
Oh.
And they also hacked my face. And this person was really looking identical as my twin brother instead of me. So I could really not judge, is it me, is it my brother? It was really difficult.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty mind-blowing. But I'm happy that we have the real version of you with us today. And maybe to kick things off, I would like to know where that passion for data analytics and AI, especially in the healthcare space, actually comes from.
I think it's really the purpose. I mean, when I started to work, I was working in China into the robotics field. So I was always passionate by technology. I'm an engineer from background, but also I did a business, degree. But I was always driven by technology innovation. Then at McKinsey, at a certain point, when you're starting, you can do all industries. I was doing automotive, semiconductors, banking, insurance, literally everything. But I started then to enter life sciences, healthcare. And that's really what excited me. It's the purpose. It's saving patients' life. It's driving technology, not only for financial or business value, but actually for saving lives. And that's fantastic, combining technology with a clear purpose.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah, and I think that attracts also the talents, I guess, and the war of talents. Maybe
Absolutely.
It's something that sticks on being purpose and associating technology with a purpose, right? Is something which sticks more.
And if I'm really reflecting to Roche, why did I decide to join Roche more than 3 years ago? Was literally really two things. One is every person I met was absolutely focusing on driving value for patients. And the second piece, Roche is a very innovative company, and I think when I started to join Roche, having the opportunity to build a new organization, which is integrating digital AI, data, as well as IT and operational excellence, was super exciting.
Yeah, so we're recording currently actually beginning of Feb, is that something like this, right? So in February, and that means World Economic Forum just happened, right?
Yes.
And you were one of the thought leaders also invited and participating in the WEF, right? In Davos, in the shiny Alps, let's say.
Yes.
Can you share a bit
snow.
of... Oh,
So it was wonderful.
So can you share a bit of a key insight? What, how were the discussion? What was the mood? What was the temperature? Maybe also a bit of the key topics that you thought, right? The world leaders are actually discussing, connecting.
Yes. Reflecting at Davos, a few trends what I've seen. One trend was around, literally every session was really reflecting that AI is one of the key economic growth drivers. Looking at venture capital funding, in the US, it's almost 30% of all venture capital funding is on AI. 130 billion, right, in 24, 50% more than in 23, imagine. In healthcare, we have tripled the investment in AI. So really everyone is talking about AI is really economic growth driver. The second trend was, I would call it, AI is geopolitical competitiveness. Yeah, we have heard from the US investing 500 billion, this Stargate joint venture, OpenAI, SoftBank, really investing a lot.
That shut that quite the conversation in the news everywhere.
Absolutely.
Huh? Yeah.
And then in the US, you see as well, everyone talking about DeepSeek, right? They have also opened a 10 billion fund. And then really you recognize what's happening actually in Europe. And you don't hear so much. I don't want to say, obviously Germany, Olaf Scholz was also there, but you see a lot of geopolitical competitiveness, and I think that's really interesting, but also scaring at the same time. The third trend, no one was talking anymore about generative AI. But everyone was talking about agentic AI. Yeah.
We'll do that too.
I'm not surprised. And it's interesting, right? Because again, it's a new buzzword. Yeah, but what does it mean for people? For me, it's really about augmenting, amplifying people's intelligence. It's not about replacing them completely. There might be, let's say, task, activities, job, which you can replace. But at the end, it's really about amplifying intelligent, cognitive tasks like decision making, problem solving, which every company needs to be actually great of. That's where agentic AI will play a role. And the last point was around adoption. I really could sense that everyone understood that it's not really about solving a technology or tech problem, but rather looking at it as a people opportunity. So adoption was playing a key role in every discussion. And how do we drive adoption across the companies?
So you took quite some remarkable things away, and I think we'll also touch upon many of the topics that you just mentioned. But another thing that you took away, maybe a more physical thing, was quite a prestigious award. So the Roche Basel drug substance site was recently recognized with the Global Lighthouse Award, which acknowledges leading production facilities and value chains that are at the forefront of implementing advanced technologies. Can you maybe share a little bit more about this terrific award? And congratulations, by the way.
Thank you so much. The award was wonderful. Also, the ceremony was wonderful.
Good food, good drinks.
Good food, but especially, it was incredibly to meet all these kind of thought leaders across industries. The World Economic Forum Lighthouse is a recognition which goes really across industries, across the globe. We have been recognized as a digital leader for one of our drug substance sites, and we are the first and only one in Switzerland. So we are extremely proud of. And I think what were the criteria? Basically, the criteria, one is creating really substantial value, significant value, a step change in value, driving new ways of working, and being able to scale technology as well as people capabilities. In our, organization, one of the, for instance, initiatives that we are driving, first of all, we are not looking at use cases, isolated use cases, but we are looking at value pools. So a combination, a cluster of use cases, which help us to actually work then differently and really unlock significant value. That's one of the big shifts that we have done. And one of these value pools is everything around, in our case, predicting cell aging, predicting cell growth. Our medicine, our molecules are obviously biological processes. There is a lot of variability. It's like you are trying to predict how a human is aging. It's almost impossible, right? There is a lot of variability. I can't mention because my twin looks now 40 years later very different. But if you show me baby pictures, I cannot tell you who is who. So there is a variability in aging, in growing. And that's what we are doing. We are applying really advanced analytics to understand more than 300 influencing factors, more than 20,000 data points, and being able to predict how a cell is behaving to be able to, increase the output of, the proteins that we want to generate. This was just one of the value pools, and then obviously everything around development, manufacturing, quality. So this was one of the dimensions. And then we discussed, obviously, how do we innovate our infrastructure?
Super cool. You mentioned already, right, like generative AI and also more specific than agentic was quite a theme, right?
Yes.
Can you share a bit of how do you see the application in the pharma industry? Maybe certain kinds of, maybe future capabilities unleashed, or maybe something very tangible already now, which you're thinking or experiments in or testing or shipping?
Yes. Now in our industry, first of all, we need to be, extremely reflective on where to apply, because I think technology gives us the opportunity to even go further. But we need to be very reflective because we are a regulatory environment where to apply. Because we could automate, decision-making processes actually end-to-end, right? We could actually replace completely the human in the decision-making process, technically. But we are not doing it yet, right, from a regulatory element. In our case, everything which is helpful to understand, for instance, quality deviations, right? It's helpful. And in order to do that, you need to identify the root cause. Yeah. So we are applying agentic AI or generative AI in understanding root causes of quality deviations, right? And then to take a better decision on what kind of corrective actions we can apply. And the impact that we are seeing is obviously that our reoccurring quality deviations are decreasing, right? It gives us a confidence that we really tackled the root cause and not only a cause or a symptom. So that's one big space. And obviously from a value perspective, quite important for us.
To maybe touch upon another aspect that you already alluded to, the topic of human centricity, which also plays a big role for you and for Roche. So I recently read a book from Fei-Fei Li, a renowned AI scientist, professor, scholar, and industry leader. And she's a firm believer that AI should really be built with the understanding of what humans actually need and what the societal impact will be. And what she actually does, so she has a team, an AI and healthcare team. And when she gets new students, she makes them spend some time with doctors first and shadow them and spend time with patients before they write the first line of code. So what does human-centered AI actually mean to you, and what role does it play at Roche or generally in the healthcare space?
It's very similar to what you are saying and we're saying. I mean, first of all, as I said, the core of our purpose is saving patients' life, right? And we are, very often when we are facing barriers, right? I mean, as every company, we are saying we are not fast enough in driving digital. We actually look at the patients' videos. We are listening to them, describing how our products and treatments save their life or completely change their life. I mean, we are in the oncology space, neurology, immunology, ophthalmology. So these are really rare diseases, transformative diseases, right? It's not like I'm taking a painkiller. So all the things that we are driving have immediate impact to our patients. So listening to them motivates us to be really focused and accelerating our journey. Then secondly, when we're talking about human-centric, I would take a user-centric perspective, right? I think also one of the big shifts that we were doing before, we were just, let me call it, installing tools, right? Or installing toys, right? Provocative speaking, saying like Toys R Us. We entered Toys R Us, we were buying a toy, we were trying to use it, did not, work, we were buying a new tool, a toy. And what we are now doing is we are really starting to understand what does the user need? What kind of decision would he take across the value chain, right? Because at the end, we want to really make sure that our products are getting released, highest quality, lowest cost possible to make the affordability to society also happen. And we're looking at how can we really accelerate lead times, make our quality more robust, and driving costs down, right? And we're looking at, from a user perspective, what kind of, workflows do we have, but also what kind of decision would we take. Based on that, we are designing the solutions.
Yeah, and ultimately leading to like a different patient experience as well.
Absolutely. Patients as well as employee experience. Yes.
So when we talk about a bit of the industry and then also in pharma, but maybe also above, right? The AI readiness, and you alluded a bit of the aspects, right? A bit of the role, the drive and the energy in US centric and the difference to Europe's maybe aspects, right? What advice would you give organizations, who get started in a bit of the digital transformation, right? Embracing more AI, right? Are there tweaks, and a couple of advices how to integrate AI in their operations, in the business?
Yes. I mean, maybe let's start with a bit of a fail, right? Because very often we're talking about successes, Lighthouse Awards, right?
Yeah, and that's boring, right?
That's boring.
Everybody talks about that.
I mean, we get these awards, yes, but no. But the reality is that we all are facing, wrong decisions. We failed in certain areas, and when I started also to join Roche, what we have seen is that we had. I was asking basically 3 questions. How many initiatives do we have currently, digital initiatives? What kind of value do they create? How many people are involved in creating this value? It was very difficult to get the answers across these elements. And the reality was we had more than 700 initiatives ongoing across all the organization in development, manufacturing, quality, all spread across. 90% and even 95% were not at scale. We're not really delivering value. So we had really to create some paradigm shifts in the way we were approaching digital. One element was we are starting to really understand business value. and you can call it however you want, AI, Gen AI, digital transformation, business transformation. The name of the game remains value. And if you are not able to articulate value, the likelihood that you will create value is difficult, right? Or is low. So that's what we really started across the, let's say, the value chain to understand these value pools, financial KPIs, operational KPIs, patient's experience, employee experience. How do we want to quantify those kind of things? Based on that, we started then to discuss, okay, what kind of use cases do we need, cluster of use cases to really unlock a new ways of working. The way that we are scheduling things, the way that we are doing root cause analysis, the way that we are taking decisions, the way we are supplying, and so on and so on. And then we are starting, based on that, a clear understanding of the value, the cluster of use cases, what kind of technology do we need? From data, IT/OT infrastructure, front-end solutions, validation of these solutions, testing of the solution, and then what kind of people do we need? What kind of capabilities? What kind of operating model do we need? Because one fundamental thing that we changed is we integrated digital with operational excellence. We want to create new ways of working. So if we are not bringing your lean team really on site and you let just do your technical teams the work, you potentially miss really the change, redesigning business processes, creating new experiences. That's really was, let's say, important shifts that we did.
Interesting, and that's why also, because you're leading digital AI and operational excellence, and that's this exactly the combination makes it, making sure that you have this business imperative first, instead of falling only in love and technology, which is also cool, but not impacting on business, right?
Exactly. And at the end, as I always say, you can have a super fancy tool. Let's assume you have a production scheduling tool, or you're building a digital twin to take or to increase output, but people are still working the same way with spreadsheets. Yeah, makes sense. Then you don't change anything, you don't generate value.
Cool.
Yeah,
and actually you frustrate the organization and you really put at risk your overall journey.
You deter people because you don't include them into the process.
Exactly.
And that's why you also need that interdisciplinary team and that holistic approach to really make it work.
Absolutely. Technical teams, it's not a back office type of exercise, especially AI. AI, in the past, people were saying, give me all the data, I have here 2 data scientists, I put them in a room and magic will happen. It's not the case, right?
Yeah, but maybe in this podcast, some kind of magic is happening. And maybe looking to the future, what do you see? What are emerging trends out there, especially in the AI healthcare space that you're foreseeing?
Yeah. I mean, what we see, one element is, really on the data side, right? If you're saying data acceleration, every company is facing challenges on the data side. So I think how to contextualize clean data. There are more and more solutions in the space to automate this kind of piece. If we're looking at AI modeling, everyone knows actually 70% of the effort is on the data engineering side and less on the data science side. But if you're looking who gets all the recognition, it's more on the front end data science side, right? So it's really also from one side, what kind of technologies, solutions do we build to contextualize clean data, but also what kind of career path do we develop so that also technical people working a bit more on the dirty, less exciting elements can create a career within a company, right? How can a data engineer, for instance, or a data architect create a career within a pharmaceutical company? It's not easy to outline that. So there is a technical component, there is a people development component into this field. Then what we see as well, it's really the combination between development and commercial or clinical manufacturing. Very often we are looking at clinical commercial manufacturing, we are improving there. But very often we see that if we combine data from development of a molecule, right, into then how we manufacture this molecule, and we combine the data, we are able to actually design molecules in a better way. Because we recognize all the issues that we had in manufacturing those, variability and so on. We can actually kill from the design. So quality by design, leveraging AI, having end-to-end data flows across really big functions, that's really one of the trends that we are looking at.
Oh, that's very down to earth, actually, way down to earth, getting the fundament, being executed.
Yes, obviously. We visited yesterday in NVIDIA, right? So now everyone is talking about omniverse, about physics AI, physical AI, which is very exciting for us as well. As I said, we have biological processes; they are very difficult to predict. So everything in this space, it's very relevant for us. So we are now investigating elements of omniverse. One in, let's say, greenfield facilities that we are developing. Can we simulate actually processes, workflows, IT, really with agents, right? Can we also learn and predict unusual events? So that's something that we're doing as well, and we'll explore more and more.
Maybe you'll invite us.
Yeah,
for a tour in the omniverse.
Net podcast in Basel. We have wonderful buildings.
For sure, right? And I think also the bridges of the real world and the digital world in terms of embedding how we can learn physics informed, right, information in a simulated environment in order to overcome the data gap, the data and the skill gap, right, is something superseded. You're already embracing that.
And we have a very complex product portfolio, very complex processes. In average, to onboard new employees, manufacturing field, it takes 9 months, 10 months.
Crazy.
It's not 2 weeks e-learning, right? E-course. No, it's really very complex, let's say, processes that a person needs to learn. So also using this kind of omniverse to really upskill our organization is fundamental.
Okay. So you have quite a massive experience actually in leadership, right? And so coming a bit on the end, obviously, also from our podcast, we always ask thought leaders and leaders in the field, right? A bit of sharing what they would give others in the audience who aspire to be a leader, who aspire to maybe step in your foot, right? Are there certain kinds of sharings which you can say, motivations, tricks, things that you as a young Daniele would love to have heard from your from your twin older version of now as you establish that? Is there some sharings you can do?
Yeah, absolutely. I was working at McKinsey, was serving many companies, and one of the things which are important, at the end, it's again not a technical problem, it's a leadership opportunity that we're facing. So leadership is so fundamental, and being, let's say, really courageous and maybe also, let me call it, risk blind helps. Right? Sometimes I'm telling my employees that I'm playing to be crazy. I'm playing to actually not understand. Right, so that we really are aiming high all the time, that we are doing things, that we are starting things, that we potentially at day one when we are starting even don't know how we can really solve them. I faced those kind of situation at McKinsey, entering new industries where you also are not the expert, right? That's fundamental. Being really having I would say, solid risk appetite, obviously risk-based. Let's say, trying to really do things which are unthinkable. This will really unlock situations. And these are the things where you really don't need to activate people, to mobilize people. People are excited about that. You will find all peoples helping you to actually come to the solution. I think that's important. And then, as I said, it's really about understanding how to drive business value, technical, let's say, advancement, and people career path, right? For instance, at Davos, no one was speaking about career paths that we needed to develop. I think that's an important piece as well. As a leader, you need to be really, I would call it a bit of a Swiss Army knife. Right?
Yes.
That's, I think, that's really crucial. You need to understand the business side. You need to have shop floor experience, domain expertise. You need to have technical understanding. You need to continuously educate yourself on AI, technology, IT infrastructure. But you need to have also great influencing skills. Your executive peers, you need to influence. Their agenda looks very different, right? Business, manufacturing, quality, regulatory. Regulatory might be a bit more risk averse. How do you influence those kind of situations, those kind of leaders? How do you influence shop floor? How do you influence executive levels? So that's really a broad spectrum of capabilities, which I would encourage everyone to build really fast, right? Not only be on the technical side, but also understand the business and the influential side.
Being bold, being curious about along the end-to-end, let's say, value chain, right? Not only technology, but also business imperative. Cool.
And I think that in future, I was talking also in Davos, I believe that the COO will be also the CIO or CDO or CTO. This will be all in one person.
Okay.
Because you need to be the
management
Swiss
board.
Army knife.
Buckle up, right? It will be lean, right?
Efficiency and
So craziness, knives, multiple personalities in one. No, but I'm just joking. But that's really good advice for sure. And Daniele, it's been so much fun having you, and we're already approaching the end of this podcast. And we should have a follow-up, maybe in Switzerland. I wouldn't mind.
Let's see.
And
with good chocolate.
Yeah, I heard. And before we wrap up, we're excited to play our signature game with you. It's called Authentic Autocomplete. And I would throw out a few sentence starters, and I'd love for you to finish them. So are you ready for some fun?
I need now to put my Italian soul now into the game. Yes,
Yeah.
Let's do that.
And the Swiss knife.
Yeah, exactly.
AI
is driving value across the organization and will help us to work in a way we never thought about it.
Agree. Roche is
incredibly innovative and a great place to work with because we are absolutely patient focused and people focused. It's all about people relationship at Roche. Everyone is helping each other and I love it.
That's a good one. And we need data-driven innovation in healthcare because
we want to save patients' life. That's absolutely our DNA. And I don't know if you have ever seen a video of a patient speaking really about their life being saved. It's so emotional. I just saw a video yesterday. Across all our leaders, there were many people crying seeing that. It's just fundamental.
Yeah.
Your purpose.
And last but not least,
it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. The last one is always a tricky one.
Yeah, but Daniele, we won't let you go without you having to solve the final challenge.
Uli, I thought we were friends.
If I could invent one rule for everyone in the world to follow, it would be
eager to always learn and unlearn things. And be also eager to acknowledge that you potentially failed.
Beautiful. Hey, Daniele, thanks so much for spending the time, sharing your passion, sharing your leadership, sharing a bit of the perspective, right? How AI, digital and operational excellence comes into real world at Roche. And thanks so much for spending the conversation with us here.
Thank you. I really enjoyed the discussion. Thank you.
Folks out there, stay humble, stay curious, stay bold, right? And connect with Daniele and follow him on LinkedIn, I guess, would be a nice things to get more sharings, more insights out there. And we definitely see us at the next Siemens AI Lab podcast. Cheers.